Finally, we're seeing Bitcoin pump a little bit of a delayed reaction. We're going to talk about that in this video, guys, in the live stream. We're also going to talk about altcoins. This has been wild to see with Ethereum basically leading the way, but Bitcoin is quickly catching up here today. This morning, we are seeing Bitcoin go over 47,000 and making a push back up to where it was before we got the crazy news that the whole ETF news was fake, right? I know you guys remember that. That was a wild day a couple days ago, but it is live. It is official. We did it. We're finally here. It is kind of a weird feeling, isn't it? That we're finally here and trading is set to go live. We're going to talk about what this means for crypto, how much money we could expect to come into crypto, and we're finally seeing again some of that money come into Bitcoin. But we are going to take a look at some altcoin prices because I was wrong. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So far, I was completely off base. I was wrong. And I'll be the first one to tell you when I am wrong, guys. And here's where I was wrong. I did not think altcoins would see this kind of push. I thought a lot of money would just flow right into Bitcoin. And maybe we still see that rotation of capital happen. But so far, I was completely wrong. We have seen altcoins pump way harder than Bitcoin. Kind of shockingly surprising here for sure. And the fact that Ethereum is running, this is huge for all altcoins because we know as Ethereum goes, so goes everything else. So just maybe altcoin season is beginning right now as we speak. Maybe altcoin season has finally arrived with Ethereum climbing 10+%. We're going to talk about that as well in this video. So you guys know the drill. Come on inside. It's nice and warm and cozy in here. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We've got a bunch of people filing in. Over 230 people with us already here this morning. A lot to get to. Here in the live stream. And good morning to everybody out there. Appreciate you guys for checking in. So we are looking at Bitcoin first because Bitcoin is the talk of the town, of course. Finally, we're seeing a price pump like we've expected to see. Okay, finally, we're getting that price pump that we wanted to see here all along. We'll take dark mode off here and just take a look at that on the chart there for a bit. All right, so we've got that happening, but I really want to take you guys inside, obviously, the altcoin space. Right? We got to talk about this, I think, first and foremost before we get in. Look at the sea of green across the board right now. Insane. Ethereum name service is up 57% to start the morning. Ethereum freaking classic, which you guys know how I feel. If you guys are not new to this channel, you guys know how I feel about Ethereum Classic. Not a huge fan of Ethereum Classic. Never will be. I just think it's hilarious how it pumps. But nonetheless, it is pumping. Ethereum Classic is pumping like crazy. And to say the least, it's shocking for sure. But hey, it is what it is. People are, taking advantage of that for sure. Across the board, we're seeing altcoins just pump like crazy. Look at this. Ethereum is up 10.65% to Bitcoin's 4.26. Loving what we're seeing out of Solana, XRP, and look at Cardano. Look at my beloved Cardano, up 20% here in the last 24 hours. Tezos, which we've talked about recently here on the channel. Tezos, definitely one that's been significantly oversold, one that's been kind of decimated here in the bear market. Tezos experiencing a huge price pump. So absolutely loving that. Ethereum name service, Ethereum Classic, both leading the way. Look at that, 57% for Ethereum name service. They are back inside the top 100. This is one that was heavily tradable or traded, both. It was very easy to trade Ethereum name service back in 2021. Somebody who's in my Discord, shout out to Daniel. He kind of gave me the plug on Ethereum name service. I made a lot of money back in 2021 with Ethereum name service, just simply trading this thing. And when it pops, it pops. And we saw Ethereum spike up, and there's no doubt that you're seeing Ethereum name service and Ethereum Classic just basically run up despite. It almost seems as if Ethereum and the people who are bullish about Ethereum strategically went about this push. They might have strategically went about this big move because it feels as if we all thought Bitcoin would be the dominant player here. They would get all the thunder, right? But as we know in crypto, always expect the unexpected. Whatever you think's going to happen, usually the opposite happens. So I was wrong. I was completely wrong so far. I said all the money's going to come into Bitcoin. It's going to leave altcoins. Wrong. Exactly wrong. We've got altcoins pushing, but the good thing is we've got exposure to altcoins, so we're experiencing some of these gains. As I mentioned, we scroll on down here. We've got Polkadot up on the day. We've got Cardano, which is a huge holding of mine. I'm loving that. That is helping me tremendously here to see that up 20+%. I really want Cardano to push past this 70 cent mark. Hopefully we can do that if altcoins continue to run. But we've got, a lot of these top altcoins. We've got some AI cryptos even making a push here. Fetch AI. We've got the Graph, one of my favorites. It's up 16.59%. Fetch is up 17, almost 18%. Of course, we're going to have Arbitrum moving. Avalanche, big layer one, top 10 crypto. How about Aptos, though, too? Aptos finally making a push. I think this is a sleeping giant. This could be a Solana type play during altcoin season. I'm glad I opened a position here in Aptos. It's very, very early on still. And guess what? We're very, very early still. It's just the all-time high is just under $20 on Aptos. We have yet to see a bull run. This thing just launched recently throughout the bear market. They've got a ton of VC money. They've got the Meta Facebook investing group with them. This could be one that could pop off. Aptos is certainly one I'm watching very closely. The OG Filecoin's up 15+%. We've got HBAR 13%. How about Stacks? We made a play on Stacks. I thought we'd get a bigger pump here out of Stacks, but hey, I'm okay with it. If you guys are in the Patreon, you're in, or you're a subscriber to me on X, you saw exactly the play we made on Stacks. We bought Stacks down here recently, yesterday, okay, leading up to the entire event because we sold off hard. We sold off hard on Bitcoin and Stacks. So, I mean, you could have picked this thing up right in here was our price point, right around $1.70, $1.75. We picked some up here. I thought we'd get a pump all the way back up over $2. I'm still hanging on to that trade right now, but I am in a nice trade with Stacks. I'm up on it. But I mean, the way altcoins have run here, you can literally, I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, right? I mean, this thing has just been surprisingly bullish here across the board. And it's just amazing to see what's going on here. So, what's going on, everybody? Good morning to everybody. Glad to be here with you guys. Glad to be here, rocking with you a little bit early here. Do you think we could push XRP and ADA above $1? I think both of them are getting there eventually, for sure. I own both of them. I own a lot more Cardano right now than I do XRP, but I definitely think both are getting there in due time, David, for sure. Pendle up 35%. Okay, check ADA. Yeah, ADA has been crushing it, crushing it. Let's take a look at ADA over on TradingView here. Here is your Cardano chart. Man, a sell-off here. Look at this. And look at this. This came down almost perfectly to our entry point. This is where we like to stack more Cardano. Now, it didn't come down all the way to 45 cents, but it nearly did, basically did. This is where our point was of attack, where we wanted to buy more, okay? This 45-cent level. I've got a ton of Cardano, so I did not add to the position, but I would have here on this wick down, especially if we would have continued to go down. I would have filled an order there. I've got an order ready to go to fill there at around 46 cents there on Cardano. We love to accumulate right there where that blue line is. Now, this blue line here, this 54-cent mark, as soon as we broke that, I got extremely bullish on Cardano. I knew we were going to have some upside potential, okay? So we've got a pretty good pulse on Cardano. We watch this thing really closely. Right now, the technicals on Cardano across the board are extremely bullish. Strong buys across the board, crushing it on our moving averages. We've got, look at our 200-day moving average. This is bullish. Our 200-day moving average is 40 cents. Okay, right now we're being traded at 60 cents. Our moving average on the 200-day is 40 cents. That is extremely, extremely bullish. All right. Dark mode, you savage. Listen, I have it here because it helps with the lighting on my face. But if you guys don't care what I look like, which, you know what, I don't think you do. I'm going to put the dark mode back on because I like it way better too. Okay, there you go. It makes me a little bit darker, especially when I come off the screen a little bit. But you know what? I don't care. It's not about that. We need to have the charts looking good. You're right. This is why it's good to be diversified in different layers and their ecosystems. 100%. 100%. You can't be all in on anything in crypto, in my opinion. You want to have exposure to a lot of different cryptos. And a lot of people will say, well, Zach, are you too diversified? And I think it's a really good, interesting point. Here's what I would say to that. Yes, you can be too diversified if you're spread too thin across the board. Meaning, what you have to do is you got to plant your flag in the ground somewhere and say, hey, I'm making 60 to 75% of my portfolio made up of these 4 or 5 cryptos, right? And then you can own 60 other cryptos that make up 30%. And that's very similar to what I do. Okay, so one thing I do is I go very top heavy in my 5 highest conviction plays. Okay, those 5 cryptos for me are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Caspa, Cardano, and Polygon. Those 5 cryptos make up about 70% of my overall portfolio. After that, then we go hunting for some other cryptos. Okay. Then we go hunting for some other cryptos out there. So that's kind of how I like to play it. Okay. That's kind of how I like to play it. So yes, you can be over diversified, but you've got to put your plan, you got to plant your flag in the ground somewhere and say, hey, I'm going all in on these. And then after that, you can have exposure to however many more you want, 50, 60 other ones that make up 20, 25% of your portfolio. That's at least the way I look at it. Good morning, Joni. How we doing? 400 people hanging out with us here this morning. That's awesome. Appreciate you guys. You guys can see I'm hanging out. I'm actually out of my element a little bit, been traveling a lot, but I mean, this has just been amazing to be a part of it. These last few days, we've been doing a lot of live streams and I'm absolutely loving it. So I appreciate you guys so much. Good afternoon from the Netherlands. What's up, Marvin? How we doing? Just visited your beautiful country not too long ago and went to Amsterdam. It was amazing. Um, so who would you find entries into ETH right now? How would you find entries? This is why I've held a position in Ethereum for a while. We're going to get a little bit of a pullback. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Admittedly, I don't trade Ethereum a lot. Okay. I don't trade Ethereum. I just pretty much buy Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm just a buyer. So I guess I'm looking here at ETH with the potential to run. I mean, we really don't have a ton. Let's go out to the weekly. I don't think we have a ton of um, resistance here, really. I mean, if you look at this is the weekly chart, okay? We don't have a ton of resistance here. I mean, we broke this line right here. Um, like that $2,500 mark was kind of an interesting place to break through and I mean, we have some upside potential here. We really do. I mean, it's kind of tough. I would wait for a little bit of pullback on this weekly candle, but that is a weekly candle. We have not seen a weekly candle like that in a really long time, guys. I mean, a really long time. It's been years since we've seen a weekly candle like that on Ethereum. That is extremely bullish. Extremely bullish. Already up 16 plus percent on Ethereum to start 2024. But this is why I buy Bitcoin and I buy Ethereum. I dollar cost average. I don't look to really trade these ones. I don't swing trade them. I know a lot of people do. I get it. But for me, they're just holdings number 1 and 2. I buy. I stack. I stack Bitcoin. I stack ETH. Cardano ecosystem pumping today. I saw that crypto, Chris. There are so many great plays within Cardano too. It is so vast and so deep. I'm loving the gains here that we're seeing though from Cardano. So let's go back over there. We're taking a look at stacks. We thought stacks would pump harder with the Bitcoin ETF news. That was my play. It's pumped a little bit. We've made some money on it. We'll take it. But I did think it would pump a little bit harder. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta answer the doorbell. Hold on one second. Okay, plumbers here to fix fix some things. All right, so what's going on, guys? What do you think of XRP these days? I love it. I still love it. It's just a slow mover. It's moving at a snail pace right now. You know. Good morning to you. Where is XRP in relation to the 6-year triangle? Um, Not sure I know what the 6-year triangle is, but we can take a look at XRP on the daily. I'll tell you what, on the daily time frame, it was a good time to scoop some up here, especially on this wick down all the way to 50 cents back on January 3rd. That was about 8 days ago. We are starting to fill the gap here. Getting above 60 and staying above 60 is going to be crucial for us. Then we can make a push upwards to 72, 73 cents. But, we were here for a while at this 60-cent level before we broke down. We're trying to climb back up there and hopefully get above it this go around and stay above it with XRP. But right now, a lot of capital flowing into the Ethereum ecosystem. We've got, those are our top gainers here. Let's go up here and sort top 24. ENS and Ethereum Classic, Tezos, and SWI. Is it SWI? SWI? SUI? We covered SEI, SEI, but SWI up 34% right now. Mantle, there's SEI up 22%, one of our top gainers. We did cover that on the channel recently. How about Flow? Up 22%. That's interesting too. 22% gain there on Flow. We've also got Immutable X, Arweave, which is kind of the new age file coin, making some moves, up 19%. Bonk still making a move here, 18% move on Bonk. This is an interesting looking chart here. The last 7 days, look at that, up 37%. And it's kind of going against the grain. At least it was the last 24 hours before everything started pumping. Really think we'll get a big pullback. Eventually we will. Yeah, I thought we'd get a lot of capital already flowing into Bitcoin here. I was wrong. Altcoin, I did not see this altcoin move happening. Ion Coin, $33 million million up. NFA, not financial advice, of course. We're all just talking heads trying to figure things out. Cash out before you cash in. Yeah, take your profits. I mean, especially if you're up on some small caps. Speaking of small caps, we've got a lot of those running right now. Let's take a look at some of the ones we track here over here on our small cap list. We've got, I put a tweet out on BitRock this morning. This is one to keep an eye on, guys. Look at this. Look at these candles. Okay. This is a little over $12 million market cap. If you guys are wondering about BitRock, I worked with these guys for a really long time, dating back, months ago. We've been talking about BitRock. Let me move over here so you can actually see what the hell I'm talking about. Wait a minute. There we go. There's BitRock. Yeah, they are an Ethereum sidechain proof of authority blockchain with near zero native gas fees. They've got an entire ecosystem. BitRock has been pumping like crazy. That's one I've owned for a while. These small caps, I mean, they're even running, right? I don't own any of this dog. I thought it was interesting. The community's huge, but it's been struggling. I don't know what's going on there. This physics one, I don't own any of this either. It's a really small cap, 1 million. I've just been tracking some of these. Pepe, we're always tracking. Pepe's up 20+%. With Ethereum pumping, you're going to find Pepe and SHIB and some of these ERC20 tokens pumping like crazy. TokenFi is one we got in really early. We got in here. We 7x'd early on. I still really like this in the real world asset area. There's still a $13.5 million market cap. Made some money on the TokenFi launch. We talked about that. Was really excited about what we did there in 2023 with that one. Wait, this is the one that George has, that Hourglass or whatever. I don't own any of this one. Interesting play though. It's up 18%. Pal AI, we were an early investor in this one, guys. This thing has been unbelievable in the AI sector. The AI sector has had so many freaking gems, so many opportunities to make money in the AI sector. We got into Pal AI at a $4 million market cap. I am so pissed I took profits too soon, but you can't be mad. You can't be mad when you take profits. I took my profits at a $60 million market cap. I got in at 4 million on Pal AI. Just actually met these guys at ETH Toronto. This is why it's so important to go to conferences, network out there. You learn about so many things happening in the space when you go out, especially this Ethereum conference that they have out in Toronto. That was an amazing event that they put on. and learned about so many ERC20 plays and so many different NFT and metaverse plays. But Pal AI has been an unbelievable one. And they've had a ton of partners, which some of them I track and I'm working with as well. Never worked with Pal AI, just was an early investor. Absolutely crushed it there. And still have a little bit that's running there. It's at $125 million market cap. We're looking at, this is a Shibarium play, really, really small cap. We made some money on this one early on, Shibarium Perpetual. We're out of it for now, but we're always tracking it. WAGMI, been invested in this one for a while, guys. WAGMI's now a $37 million market cap. It's no longer a joke, okay? WAGMI's actually a legitimate gaming project, partnered with Immutable X, partnered with GameStop, absolutely legit. And WAGMI is big, big time, big time. Yeah, we didn't mention Caspa in the big cap area or Mira. Love them both. Mira in the gaming side, Caspa obviously in the proof of work side. Own both of those. I own both of those. Absolutely love both of those projects. Cardano, of course, huge, huge, huge gains here today. The ADA gang is out in the chat. Guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. Almost 500 people hanging out with us. Beautiful day for crypto. Beautiful day for this live stream and just hanging out with you guys. Enjoying it. Absolutely enjoying it. All right, we got Grok here. I got wrecked on this one. I don't know about you guys. I bought in here at like, I don't know, a $60 million market cap, I think. And I'm still holding the bag here. I got wrecked on Grok so far. I'm just going to hold the bag. We'll see what happens here. But this thing has bled out. And we'll see. We'll see if this thing makes a resurgence. It's still getting a ton of volume, a good amount of volume, $209,000 of volume, still a $37 million market cap. It's an ERC20 meme coin play off of, the AI that Elon built. We'll see what happens. So far, I'm getting wrecked on that, but it is what it is. SHIB, obviously pumping with Ethereum. So we're seeing a nice little 14% pop there on ETH. Loving that. How about PMPY? This is another AI crypto play, small cap play. PMPY getting close to setting new all-time highs right now, closing in on a $12 million market cap. Their AI interface is live on their website. PMPY has been a gem for me. We got in here at around a $2 million market cap, so we're nearly 6x right now. Absolutely loving this one. Koi is one that, tell you what, I had high hopes for. I cut some losses on Koi. I got all the way out of this. It's a Shibarium play. It just has not panned out. Didn't like where we were going with some of the founders, and I'm all the way out of there. Okay, all the way out of there. CCX is Clear Cryptos. This is one I've talked about a lot on the channel way back in the day. CCX, very, very quiet right now. From what I hear, they're building in the background. I know there's nothing going on right now. There's like no volume, but I'm still holding a lot of it. And anytime I have new information on that, we are up 12% today, so that's good to see. Up 12%. Anytime I have more info on that, I'll give it to you. But so far, has not really exploded. They've not really done anything with the project yet, but all indications are that they're still working behind the scenes, and excited about where that one could go on the enterprise side of things. Right now, very quiet. Bone up to 68 cents right now, up 10%. We've got Hoshi, which is within the Suka ecosystem. This is an interesting play, guys. Hoshi is literally just shy of a $4 million market cap. You could see, good looking chart. Okay, this is in the Suka side of things. Hello Labs, this is an interesting play as well. Hello Labs, $112 million market cap. This is that play on the entertainment show. I can't think of the show name, but Crypto Wendy's on there. The guys from Altcoin Daily are on there. You guys have seen that, right? It's on BNB and Ethereum side of things. If we go to their Twitter, you guys have seen this. The future of crypto and entertainment, that's the Hello token. It's coming this month. Killer Whales TV, right? Is a global TV show seeing entrepreneurs pitch their crypto startups. Really interesting idea. Love the concept there for Hello Labs. Let's see what else we got here. Tradex is one we've talked about for a while. It's only at a $1 million market cap, but hey, it's getting close up there at all-time highs, actually. This is a very small cap play. They got a really cool application out, and it's been out for a while, helping you automate trades in DeFi. Still a very small cap, so shout out to them. DPay, another small cap. They're trying to be basically Uber Eats for the blockchain. $2.33 million market cap. Big sleeper. I do own about $5,000-$6,000 worth of DPay. That's a startup that I think has a lot of potential. Apollo, they're getting into gaming heavily, sitting just shy of a $4 million market cap right now, making a little bit of a push right now. But Matt Johnson and company, I think they can do some huge things in the gaming side. This is a huge sleeper of mine. I'm a huge holder. If you guys know anything about me and Apollo, I was an early investor, one of the largest investors in that project, in that startup. Very excited about that. Wow, only 127 likes with 460 people watching. Guys, smash the like button. Let's run that thing up over 300 likes. It's totally free to do. Definitely hit the like button for us. That really, really helps us out. I like VeChain still. I do. Congratulations, everyone, for the ETF approval and buying starts today. What do you think about BRise? Need to look at that more, to be honest. How about Suka? Suka's at a $33 million market cap, been slowly coming up here too. Since November 2023, it's been a slow and steady grow here for Suka. Still holding a big chunk of Suka as well. I've got about 10K worth still of Suka. They have yet to experience a bull run, guys. $33 million market cap. You can see the chart kind of hovering somewhere in the middle right now. I want to see this thing in a full-fledged bull run now that they have utility out as well. Here's the Preem token, very, very small cap play, 624K market cap. Jonathan, a friend of mine, runs this project in the space. Interested to see what they do. They've got an event actually coming out very, very soon, coming up rather. If you guys want to join us out there, it's going to be a ton of fun. Let me go over to our media and we'll find it. This is a free event. We're going to be out in Clearwater, Florida, January 26th. Public access, free event. I'd love to meet you out there. I'm going to be speaking at this event. Very, very small event. It's not going to be a huge, crazy event. It's about bringing Web 2 to Web 3, businesses from Web 2 to Web 3. I'm going to be a speaker out there. Can't wait to meet. I know I've heard from about 10 different people who are coming out there to Clearwater. If you guys are interested in that, would absolutely love to see you guys out there. They're hosting that event out there, so excited about that. Bad Idea AI. This is the AI play within the SHIB ecosystem. Just shy of a $20 million market cap right now. I made a pretty penny on this one, traded all the way out. I did get back into Bad Idea AI as we've been coming back down, and we'll look to make a run up on this again. I'd like to see this thing get back to about a $100 million market cap. I'll trade out of it again. So I'm looking to make a 5X here again on Bad Idea. I did it once, trying to make it again. The thing with Bad Idea, it's interesting. It's obviously backed by some big players. They've got a really good holder base. They were at ETH Toronto. I'm not quite sure exactly what they're bringing to the table yet for Shibarium. Time will tell. Demo is one I've been looking at for a while now. Demo's actually on Matic. This is an interesting angle. It helps drivers get the most from their cars, download the app to connect, earn rewards, and build the future of mobility. Yeah, so as I mentioned, Devour, which is kind of the Web3 version of Uber Eats. Demo is kind of the Web3 version of Uber in a lot of ways, okay? Own your data by connecting your car here. Very interesting, interesting angle here. So not really Uber. It's a little bit different than that, but check it out. It's kind of getting into owning your own data, right? So Demo Mobile's the first app allows you to own and monetize your car's data, turn your car's data into an asset. And I think everything needs to be tokenized for the blockchain. So this is an interesting angle, different approach. So you might want to check that one out. Demo, D-I-M-O. They're a $36 million market cap, so they're not a small cap. Vault is one that I have absolutely crushed it on. This one, look at this chart. I mean, the Vault chart is super, super nice, right? If you're wondering about Vault, they have an escrow bot and unique benefits for Vault token holders. They partner with Pal AI. They have been crushing it as well. Very, very sneaky play right now that I think has a ton of potential to get to a $100 million market cap. No guarantees, not financial advice, but I'm owning a pretty good chunk of Vault Tech. Absolutely love what they bring to the table. That is ticker symbol Vault, very quietly sitting at a $20 million market cap right now. All right, so that's kind of going through some small caps for you guys. And there's a lot of other ones I didn't highlight. Quickie is another one. Quickie's another one. This is their old chart, but Quick Intel, they partner with Dex Tools. Absolutely love Quick Intel. Shout out to them. Was a private investor with them as well, and what they're building in terms of basically really advanced audits that you can check before you invest in something new. So I love what they're doing as well. All right, let's go over to Twitter here and see kind of what we've got in terms of the news, guys. Let's see here what we've got in terms of the news. We've got, so many things happening with the Bitcoin ETF, and let's see kind of what the top results are here with Bitcoin ETF. Of course, trading, getting ready to go live. Here we go. Breaking. BlackRock intends to buy 2 billion Bitcoin to seed their spot Bitcoin ETF. We're hearing a lot of this. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is trading up 23% pre-market right now already. We'll go ahead and repost that. Let's see what else we got. Pop says today is a historic day in the financial markets. The Bitcoin spot ETFs begin trading this morning, and billions of dollars will flow into the asset class throughout 2024. A lot of people calling for roughly $50 to $100 billion this year to flow into Bitcoin and this asset class. This will impact price, fees, volatility, and much more. Here's the conversation on Squawk Box, CNBC this morning. Let's go ahead and listen into this. We'll go ahead and play this actually for you guys. Go ahead and smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and listen into this conversation they had this morning because, man, this is going to be something else to watch. The narrative is shifting now from big networks like this. No audio? Okay. All right, hold on. Let me work on that. All right, let me work on that. Let's see here. All right, we should be good now. Let me know if this comes through now.
11 Bitcoin ETFs are going to begin trading today after the SEC approved their applications. The move overturned a decade of the regulator's opposition to the idea. Not sure what any of this means, though, right, Pomp will talk about it, but when they finally say it's okay, maybe we've talked about it. Maybe it's over. Maybe all the people that got in early now say I'm gonna offload it to the sheep that can now get in with the ETF.
Well, I think in the short term, there are clearly people who've been buying up in the last 3 months on the expectation of this. And the question is, no, longer term, maybe a very different story.
Do hodlers ever sell? I don't know.
I don't think hodlers ever sell, but I do think this is a historic moment in the sense of it's the first time that the internet and Wall Street, they've had this healthy tension for a couple of years, even a couple of decades. And it's the first time Wall Street blinked, right? Think of it. It's an internet-based asset that now is being arms wrapped around it by Wall Street. And to your point, now that everyone can buy it, financial advisors are saying, okay, ETFs, regulators are on board. I'm going to go put it in everyone's portfolio. The volatility is going to drastically dampen from here.
But then it could make the move to Andrew's currency that it's never been. The point you don't want to buy a pizza for $25,000. Right. They said there's too much volatility for it to ever be transaction. Right. As a store value, maybe it makes it, but if it has no more volatility, maybe it turns into something.
Well, I think like that. When I say no more volatility is going to dampen. What I mean is, over the last 4 years, Bitcoin has had a compound annual growth rate of over 50%. And people are like, oh, that's unsustainable for 4 years. But if you go back over the last 10 years, it's still been 50% compound annual growth rate. And so what I think will happen is it'll just start to taper off a little bit. And in the next 5 years or so, it'll be like 20%. Which is still double what the stock
that won't get the Tom Lee's $500,000 though.
Well, but I think what you're asking is a different question. Is it a financial asset? It appears to very much be a financial asset.
Right? Does it become transaction?
Is it a currency?
Yeah.
That's a much higher. Ethereum might be some form of a.
That's up a lot more than Bitcoin today.
There are a lot of other. There are probably a lot of, from a technological perspective, a lot better actually Well, what if different technologies in the blockchain for that purpose, if that's what you think this is?
Yeah, there's another interesting thing that's happening, right? So if I go on Wall Street and I ask people, what is your benchmark? They'll tell me the S&P, maybe NASDAQ, right? They have these equity-based benchmarks. If I go ask a 25-year-old or younger, Bitcoin is the benchmark. And so the reason why that's interesting is there's an entire generation of people who say, if I can't beat Bitcoin, then I might as well just buy it. And that's why you see those people, the only thing they're allocating to is Bitcoin or the long tail of crypto assets they're basically speculating on. And so as those people age, now Bitcoin becomes that benchmark. It's going to get into everyone's portfolio. So volatility will dampen down. But ultimately, if you want mass adoption, everyone's got to put it in their portfolio, right? And so the days of the asymmetric 1,000% increases in a single year are probably gone. But an asset that's compounding at 20, 30, 40, 50% a year, you can't get that in the stock market. So I still think it'll be very attractive to a lot of people.
Like that though? I mean, if it becomes less volatile, if you have everybody able to get into it to do these things, does it still have growth like that?
There's a really interesting mechanism here where we've never had an ETF of a finite asset, right? Every asset is got some degree of increasing or expanding supply.
So let me chime in here. This is interesting she asked that. And really, I don't know if Pomp's going to get in here, but what I would say to that is, yeah, we still have 40 to 50% upside every single year, considering that 5% of people are in crypto. And maybe Pomp, says this, but I mean, that would be my quick response to, I'm not sure what that lady's name is over here on CNBC, but yeah, I mean, the days of going up 1,000 percentage points yearly or like after the halving, those days are gone. But to Pomp's earlier point, going up 40, 50, 60% in a year, hell yeah, that's still there. Considering we only have 5% of global adoption. If everybody starts making Bitcoin a small fraction, a small piece of their portfolio, like they do with popular mutual funds, like they do with the S&P 500, yeah, there's still a lot of room to grow here. So I don't know if Pomp's going to get into that, but that would be my quick response on that.
This is a finite asset. And so now all of a sudden you have what could be tens of billions, hundreds of billions, depending on who you ask, that's going to come into this over the next, let's say, 10 years. But there's still only 21 million.
There's gold ETFs, aren't there?
But gold still, this supply is expanding. It might not expand very fast, right?
Same with Bitcoin, though. So when's the last Bitcoin going to be mined? 2140?
Yeah, 2140. And then you got to also remember, there's 70% of the Bitcoin that hasn't moved in the last year. And so now we have institutions that are banging on the door. And I think it's important to talk about the fees that have changed as well, right? If you look at Bitwise is now the cheapest Bitcoin fund in America in the sense of it's 0.24% fee, and they just dropped it down to 0.20. That's a 90% difference between where it was a couple of days ago in terms of the publicly available Bitcoin fund.
Why did all of these ETFs say that they were lowering their fees too? Like in the
fee war. Yeah, this is a fee war.
And that's what I mean. Is it going to be profitable for anybody? There's a huge amount of demand that's built up, but there's also a huge amount of players who want to meet that demand.
So if you look, Grayscale was at 2%, they dropped to 1.5%, right? And people are like, why didn't they drop all the way down to 0.2%? Well, the big thing is, if you want to go sell your Grayscale and try to roll somewhere else, you're going to have to pay taxes unless you're in a tax advantage account. So there's a lot of assets that are going to stay in Grayscale, right? And those guys will never get enough credit for pushing this issue and really kind of helping push it forward. But I think that what you see is Grayscale saying, hey, we already have a lot of assets. Let's hold on to what we have. And everyone else saying, well, we want all the new assets that are going to come in. So we got to go compete in the fee war. And so 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, how much does it really matter? Some advisors really care. Other advisors say, hey, I just want to buy something that's a great product that I think is going to track the price correctly. But what I think is going to ultimately end up occurring is there's going to be tens of billions of dollars that are going to flow into these ETFs. You have a finite asset, so it will go up.
How many of these ETFs do you think will exist in a year or two from now? I think will there be so much consolidation, or some of them just decide I'm not doing this anymore?
I think there will be more 12 months from now in the aggregate number, but there will be a clear 2 to 3 winners, right? And so my guess is that BlackRock will end up being very, very successful. I think Grayscale will hold on to a lot of assets. And then there's kind of this competition among what I'd say all of the like digital or internet-based kind of innovation tech type ETFs that are all going to go fight it out. And so if you have 3 big winners, right, then that ends up being probably tens of billions of dollars.
But Andrew's right. Is that a huge consolidation war?
Yeah, it's basically everyone will keep it because they want it, right? There's a lot of people who have the S&P, index, even though they don't have a lot of assets in it. It's
long term, this is, and I asked this, and we'll show a little bit in the interview, I think later with Brian Armstrong of Coinbase. Do you think this is good for the Robinhoods and Coinbases of the world or not? Because the truth is, if you no longer need to get a Coinbase account because you can buy this through your Fidelity account, what does it actually, I mean, look, they're going to make money because they're going to be a custodian on the other side of it, but that's a different business.
So before he answers it, I'll give you my quick thoughts on that. I think, the Coinbases of the world are still super relevant for altcoins. And there's still trillions of dollars in altcoins, right? I mean, obviously, we're seeing altcoins pump like crazy, which is, taking all of us by surprise a little bit. But the Coinbases of the world, and I think Kraken, here in the United States, you're going to have Coinbase and Kraken. Those two seem to be the ones that are all buttoned up in terms of they have the best stance or whatever with the SEC. They've been around the longest. I feel like those two are going to rise to the top. But yeah, I mean, I still think there's a huge market there for everything else that's not Bitcoin, right? We'll see what Pomp says.
I've invested in Bitcoin. I've invested in a lot of equities across this thing. And this is an interesting day because I'm an investor in 21 shares. I'm an investor in Coinbase. I'm an investor in Bitwise. And so I'm seeing kind of how each one of them is playing this out. And one of the things that's most interesting is the ETF fee war may leak out into custody fee war and also exchange fee war. So Coinbase may have to drop their fees because it may be more inexpensive to hold the Bitcoin ETF for a year than to make one simple trade on Coinbase. So obviously there's pressure there. But also, I think there's a very, very big contingency of people who are educating others about Bitcoin who say buying the ETF is not buying Bitcoin, right? You're buying exposure to Bitcoin, but you're not actually buying the Bitcoin. You're not self-custodying that Bitcoin. And so what we're going to see is how many people care about self-custody versus care about just the exposure to the price.
Coinbase,
I think that will shift.
It can't be good near term. Coinbase's fees.
Coinbase is highly visible.
Blows me away whenever I've done anything on Coinbase. Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, it was trading here. Why am I getting it? And I look at it. I mean, what are they, 5% or something?
Here's another really interesting idea from an investment perspective is the public market drastically or misunderstands a lot of these crypto businesses in the sense of Coinbase has their exchange fees. They have their custody fees. They also have a lot of what I'll call crypto native revenue, right? So they have this new blockchain called Base and they're generating a lot of revenue there. Miners, a lot of their revenue is actually driven by the price of Bitcoin. So if the price of Bitcoin doubles, their revenue doubles because the revenue is denominated in Bitcoin.
The fee structure itself.
The fee structure it will compress, but they're essentially just shifting it into more of a crypto native revenue stream.
Okay, you're an investor in Coinbase.
Correct.
So you're looking at all of this. Are you more likely to sell based on this, or do you think you're likely to add to your position?
I think that any company in the public markets that is crypto native revenue is going to do very well over the next 1 to 2 years.
So you're not looking to sell.
I'm definitely not selling.
So you think 1 to 2 years? Do you think 10 years?
Investing's hard and predicting 10 years out is nearly impossible, right? What I think is that this is a generational trend where there's an asset class that didn't exist 15 years ago. Now, obviously, it's not going away. And so if you just look at where is money, where is talent flowing, you got to say, okay, crypto is going to be a big beneficiary over the next decade or so. The individual winners, there's always going to be competition, right? There's always going to be newcomers that show up and try to disrupt the incumbents, et cetera. And then you also got to look at like what happens if some of the large legacy players do some consolidation with some of these crypto players. Like if, and again, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but let's say that BlackRock all of a sudden says, let's go buy Coinbase. And we'll give them their distribution, right?
They're toast together. I need to.
That's interesting. I mean, and don't rule that out. I mean, BlackRock can essentially buy anything the hell they want, right? They literally own everything already. They might go ahead and buy out a Coinbase or a Kraken, for sure Kraken, right? That's interesting. I still think there's a market there for altcoins though, right? And they didn't really hit on that. I mean, so, your traders, your heavy traders, crypto traders, they still need a place to off-ramp their crypto. And as Pomp mentioned, they are building out Base, right? Over on the DeFi side of things, which I think all the major companies, I mean, look at what crypto.com is doing, right? Building out their own blockchain in Kronos. I think that is the shift. You can't just be an exchange anymore. You've got to be more than that. I think the market for, their whole credit cards, that crypto.com has dominated. I think Coinbase, I don't think they're in that game yet. I think they should be. Basically, they need to diversify. They can't just be a place where you can just trade crypto anymore. They've got to be more than that. And I think they have the ability to do that. But I haven't thought about the idea that BlackRock might just come in one day and say, hey, you know what? What's your number? Brian Armstrong, what's your number? We'll give it to you and we'll just take you over. I mean, that's certainly something that's on the table. BlackRock can definitely do that with basically any asset or any company they want.
Yes. So 900 billion, that's a market cap, right? So 70% of the holders will never sell. So how much do these ETF Then we talked about how much Bitcoin do they need to put in, where are they going to get? I mean, do they need, how many billion do they need to put it in the ETFs? And where are they going to get it from the 70%? Is they going to get it from the 30%, or are the 70% willing to sell at 60,000?
Yeah.
70,000. Where do they get it?
So my prediction is $2 billion in the next 48 hours into the ETFs. It'll smash every ETF record launch that we've ever seen.
That's still small, though, compared to $950 billion.
Correct.
So
and there's a multiplier effect,
cap.
right? So $1 in doesn't just mean $1 in the market cap movement, but definitely it's not 900 billion. The second thing is that Grayscale's GBTC, before it had their, it doesn't have a redemption function.
Real quick, I mean, yeah, that, you know, a lot of people are saying 50 to $100 billion coming into the market is a huge deal. I mean, it is it if it all comes at once, but it's not going to happen all at once. And there's going to be people taking profits. I mean, you got to understand, like, things are going to be trading, right? So it's like you're going to have ups and downs, and this money's going to be flowing in. What it really does is bring in volume. And over time, and this consistent volume is going to make Bitcoin and crypto way more stable. But here's the thing, it's not going to all happen at once, right? This is a slow process. This is, you know, just beginning. So there's a lot of estimates out there, 50 to 100 billion coming in this year in 2024. That's just new money coming in. But again, you're going to have ups and downs and waves as people are still trading the assets, right? So keep that in mind.
And so if you go back to 2020, there was billions of dollars flowing into that vehicle. And they eventually had about 3.5% of all the circulating supply that went into that fund. And we went from $8,000 to $64,000 in a matter of 6 months. And so what I think people don't remember is that if 70% of that supply is being held illiquid by these holders, they will sell at some point. It's just going to be at a much higher price.
Why would they sell? And I've thought about it. You know, I've got a tiny amount. And if it's going to $500,000, I'll never sell. But I look at it, I'm thinking, wow, it'd be nice to get, you know, 46 is not a bad number.
There's a lot of people who sold Amazon over the years, right? Many other great investments. But I think
we don't know it's an Amazon.
well, it's been better than Amazon.
Yeah, from here.
I love that. I mean, like, we don't know it's an Amazon. I mean, no, but like, what else do you need? The last 12 years, there's been nothing even close. Right? And now you have the BlackRocks, Fidelities, and the biggest companies in the world coming in and backing it, quote unquote, legitimizing it. Still, the naysayers are out there, right? I guess you got to hedge your bets all the time, but it's still interesting.
From here,
and I think it would take a lot of intestinal fortitude to buy it at 50,000.
Well, again, if you just look at, okay, I have a finite asset, I have a wall of demand that's coming in, right? Billions of dollars at a minimum, probably tens of billions of dollars. And it's a generational asset shift where people are saying, I'm not going to go allocate to these other assets. I'm going to go use this as my
too late, isn't it, Andrew? I mean, you'd be crazy. One Bitcoin for 50 grand when you could have bought it at 5, right?
Well, yeah, you'll feel bad if that's what you're trying to say.
I'm not saying you feel bad. No, I'm just saying you got to really step up at 50. You got to really step up at 50 to get one Bitcoin.
So the ETFs also, another really interesting thing is the unit bias is going to change now. Now all of a sudden, rather than buy a $50,000 Bitcoin, I may be able to buy a $10 share.
You won't feel like you're buying.
And so there's a very interesting dynamic there that may shift, especially people who are trying to buy that ETF.
All right. That wasn't too much of a victory lap for you, was it? You're humble.
That is interesting. I didn't really think about that, but the psychology behind buying a share of the Bitcoin ETF at $10 and that goes up 50% to $15 is a much more psychological thing to handle than buying one Bitcoin at 50K and hoping it goes to 75K, right? So like that 50% move when the stock price is $10 versus buying the whole Bitcoin, people's heads are already kind of wrapped around that idea in the stock market, right? And obviously a 50% move, which could happen in Bitcoin very easily on a year-to-date, standpoint, a 50% move is, I mean, we just saw Bitcoin go up 170% in the last year, right? A 50% move is very common. That is going to still be way better than what most people expect to see from their stock market gains. And this could last for a while. I mean, considering, again, Bitcoin is owned by 5% of the freaking population in the world. It's a global asset. So it's a good way to kind of think about that. All right, let's see when they see what they say to close it up.
I don't,
humble and hungry.
I don't need to say much. I think people realize that, Bitcoin for 15 years was knocking on the door. Look, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss filed, 10, 12 years ago for this ETF. And there's a ton of people. We'd spend hours if I try to name everyone who was, had a hand in making this get approved. But it's an ETF on Wall Street now.
Well, that's going to be the last word on it that we're going to have today.
Good luck to you guys.
Folks, we'll be talking a lot more about it.
12 more guests, Pomp.
So Pomp continues to, I think shows pretty well.
11 Bitcoin ETFs are going to be
pretty well for crypto. Yeah, so 11 of the 12 got approved. That other one that didn't get approved was interesting. I don't know why they didn't get their stuff in time. Basically didn't get their stuff in on time. At least that's what I was hearing. And maybe they'll go ahead and try to refile at a later date, maybe sometime in March. But at this point, we've got 11 that are gone and or 11 that are done. Foregone conclusion, it's over. We've got 11 of them, and trading is getting ready to begin. So just an amazing time to be part of this crypto community. We could see here pre-market iShares Bitcoin Trust IBIT, that is BlackRock's ETF, was up 23+% pre-market already here this morning. If that's not bullish, I don't know what the hell is. And we're going to see, I think, a slow drip here. I think we're going to see a slow drip of a ton of different people coming in. Keep in mind now that this changes the whole complexion of how investing could look like for retail money as well. Now that this is available, now that this is out there, the entire industry now can be exposed by financial advisors to their clients, right? For instance, when I go see my financial advisor, who, by the way, already likes Bitcoin, but he wasn't allowed to say that. Now he's legally able to say, hey, Zach, do you want some exposure to Bitcoin in your portfolio? You're in your mid 30s. Why don't you make 2 to 5% here? Or how much risk do you want to take, right? Let's get a little bit more risky here and allocate some money to Bitcoin. Those conversations are going to be happening across the United States, across the entire ecosystem of investors. And all of a sudden, that slow drip is going to take into effect, and we're going to see more and more people putting a little bit here, a little bit there, putting a little bit of money into Bitcoin. A little bit by a lot of people is going to add up, and that's going to be drastic when it comes to the next 12 to 18 months, I think, as people restructure their portfolio. Might even start to happen quicker than we think here to start the year in 2024. I'm curious to kind of see what some of the traditional investors and investments think, or head investors think about this. But the spot Bitcoin ETF, a done deal. So unbelievable. I'm actually curious to kind of talk to some of my traditional finance, people and kind of see where their heads are at with all of this. But amazing to kind of share this with you guys over the past few days. It's been a ton of fun. Let's see here who we got in chat here. Let's see what we got here. Amazing time indeed. Investing is a learned skill, not taught in public schools. 100% right on that. Is opening bell, Zach? Pull up the charts. It's opening bell. Yep. Yeah, you're basically, we're right on it actually. All right, so let's see here. So Ethereum still running hot. Let's see here. If we take a look at Bitcoin ETF is officially live. So we are officially live. The spot Bitcoin ETF is trading officially right now as we speak. Let's go ahead and try to track it here. So what is iShares? What is iShares? What is iShares actual ticker symbol? Here it is. IBTC. Let's see if we can track this. IBTC. Let's see if we can track it. It might not be trackable yet on TradingView. Here, let's do this though. It's Not a token. These are all old and outdated. Isn't it IBIT? Is it IBIT? iShares Bitcoin Trust, you're right. There it is on the NASDAQ. All right, guys, that's on the weekly. So let's go on the 1 minute. There it is. It's being traded. That is IBIT. That is BlackRock's ETF being traded right now live at Market Bell. Crazy, right at 9:30 a.m. Amazing. How about that? Trading just went live. I'm assuming IBTC is BlackRock. Yeah, here it is right here. IBIT. IBIT. Trading is now live. Wow. All right, guys, that'll close up the stream. I wanted to take us right up to the opening bell. I appreciate each and every one of you guys so much. Hit that like button, subscribe down below. I'm going to have a ton of content out today. We're going to continue to be doing these live streams too regularly. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. It's been amazing to this point, and we are just getting started in terms of our crypto journey. This is going to be a point in time I think we look back at and say, wow. Wow, good thing we were here. Good thing we were here when we were super early before a lot of people are going to be coming into the space. So amazing as always. Again, hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Trading is live with the ETFs for Bitcoin. A beautiful day and a great day ahead. Appreciate you guys. Winston watching all the way from Japan. That's amazing. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. Peace out. Have a fantastic day, everybody. We'll see you. Bye.